My first like metal concert was King Diamond, 13 or 14. And I'd kind of been listening to King Diamond a bit before, and I was like, man, the guitar player is insane, like this is sick. Yeah, it was at this small venue in Brooklyn called L'Amour.
You haven't experienced heavy metal until you have experienced L'Amour.
There's been a ton of bands that played there, and it's closed now, but it was like kind of a famous spot. At the end of the show, the guitar player like threw his pick out, and I was like, there. And I looked down, and it was right by my foot, and I'm like, no way! And I grabbed it, and I have it over there. It's like, I put it on right on my monitor in the studio. So sometimes when I'm jamming or trying to write, I just kind of like rub it and try to get those magic juices flowing.
King Diamond magic.
Yeah, the dude's name's Andy LaRock.
Uh-huh.
He's like an insane Swedish shredder.
It's funny, James Hetfield made fun of me. You know, he was showing me all this stuff in his studio at times of like Thin Lizzy and all these bands that he looked up to and stuff. And he's like, what are you doing in the 70s? Like, I was in the disco. And he's like, disco? Come on, man. But I wasn't even into rock until I got into skateboarding. I grew up on an area that was just predominantly black and Mexican, and soul and disco was, you know, what everyone was playing back in the day.
Yeah.
Went to the skate park, and then that's all they played. AC/DC, Cheap Trick, Aerosmith. So me being super influenced, I wanted to be a skateboarder and be part of what they're into. So right when I got home, went to the south side of San Jose, I had my mom take me to Tower Records and got my first AC/DC tape, you know, on a cassette. And then I was into rock and roll, man.
Why does it seem like metal and rock go with skating so well?
It's just fast and aggressive, and it's kind of the same mentality when you're skating vert, at least. I don't know, you want to have more like power and speed. It's definitely the right music to do that. Let's go check out the studio. Studio. Oh yeah, I got this Danzig.
Your last video part that you dropped, you wrote the soundtrack for it, and how did that all come about?
Well, I mean, I guess first and foremost, I wanted to put out a good skate part, but I'm pretty passionate about music too, so I was like, yeah, I'm definitely gonna write my own music for it. When I was writing it, I kind of just had in mind okay, this part will be a little bit slower, and then I can put these kind of tricks there, and then this part will be more like a build up again, and then kind of just tried to picture it in my head first.
Elliot taught me the chords. Yeah, it's definitely a really cool opportunity to work with Elliot and be part of his amazing skate video, you know, with all the gnarly tricks that he did. I mean, those are that's a pretty incredible part, you know. So it's really, really cool that he was able to actually use his own music.
This one was when Metallica played at X Games. I think you gave me this one, Steve.
Yeah. I was introduced to Metallica around 1982. A pro skateboarder named Tom Groholski gave me this tape. He's all, check this band out, I think you'll like them. And I put it in. Now what is this band? They're called Metallica, they're from San Francisco, near you. I'm like, all right, I put it in, I'm like, whoa, this is pretty cool, man. This is metal, but it's got kind of a punk edge to it. And instantly I fell in love with their music. So when I heard that they were gonna be playing in Palo Alto, I immediately bought tickets. Saw Metallica play. Armored Saint opened up for them. Cliff Burton was in the band still, and I think they were touring Ride the Lightning, you know, and I'll never forget that show, man. Small club, maybe 200, 300 people in it, and it was Metallica, yeah. Yeah, and you know, and over the years, I've become friends with those guys. So I ended up doing a collaboration with my signature shoe, the Half Cab. So there's a Metallica Half Cab shoe that came out, and that's like a unbelievable dream come true, like, you know.
So, what kind of style are you guys thinking of doing?
I don't know, play some double bass shit and just follow along.
Like fast or like medium?
Kind of why I'm so passionate about music, and I think it maybe goes for a lot of people, is just like there's maybe certain albums or certain songs or artists where, like, you know, if you're going through a hard period of your life, you kind of like get lost in a certain album or something, and then it's really cool to like listen back to a song and be like, oh man, that's totally that time in my life, that period of time where I was going through this shit, and like I just got lost in this album and it got me through that period of time. Before I moved out here, my dad passed away, and I was just like going through all this shit, and I just got lost in music, and I don't know, it just kind of like helped me get through those tougher times, you know. And I think a lot of people kind of get lost in music for that reason.
Are there like particular like standout records that you can recall that represented that for you?
Oh yeah, Lamb of God, In Flames, Come Clarity. I just remember like that album in particular, yeah, In Flames. My dad had passed away, and I was like, I left school, I started working, and it was just like I'd have to drive an hour every morning, like wake up super early, chip ice off my windshield, and like I was just like, fuck, this sucks, Dad, but gotta get through it. I would just, you know, just drown myself in those songs, and it's crazy like listening back to them, like, oh dude, I totally remember driving back and forth, like just listening to this music on full blast, like, yeah.
Music can kind of define a decade that you grew up in. And music really moves the heart, moves the soul. There's something about the vibrations and the tones, and it sets a mood for where you are in life, you know. And I really believe that we were created in the image of God, who's a creator. So inside we have this burning feeling of creating something, and music is one of the greatest outlets to express yourself, you know. That's why it feels natural to want to either move to music or create it. We're born to do that.